keeping us safe is job one. I know, because she's my mom.
Oh, wow. He lost all credibility.
Right. That's exactly what I said when I seen that. Oh my goodness. I was like, this guy.
Idiot.
Hi everyone, I'm
You-
Shelly. and
you
you're
had
watching
us
There's No
all.
Place Like Home. It's been a while since I've done a Question the Narrative video, and
Oh,
this is a
pause
topic
this.
that has
Pause
interested me
this.
for some
Pause
while, but I
this.
actually got
Pause this. This chick's about to go so hard, bro. This chick's about to kill this, bro. This chick, bro.
Yo, Karen is on the case. Oh my goodness. Oh, yo. Oh my goodness. Whew.
renewed interest in it from watching a video on the John Levi channel the other day, and I'll get to how that happened a little bit later. But how much do you know about the World's Fair? I'm not going to talk so much about the World's Fair itself today, but about the actual architecture.
Yeah. So have you ever heard of this
Oh, yeah.
theory?
I've heard of the World's Fair, but I've never dived into it.
So pretty much the premise around it, why they're questioning the narrative, is pretty much there were these grand ornate structures built for these world fairs, supposedly. But I feel like she's going to break down why a lot of the architecture doesn't seem to make sense. And why did they just destroy everything they created right after making it for the fair? Right?
Building, because that in itself is something that really makes you think once you actually go back to the time period that a lot of these fairs took place in and realize that it kind of seems to be out of place. So the first time that I actually heard of a World's Fair was in Men in Black when they mentioned the Coney Island World's Fair. So so like when you picture the Coney Island World's Fair, it just looks like a typical fair. When I hear fair, I think carnival. That's what comes into my mind, some sort of big festival. And really that's what a lot of these images from the Coney Island Fair look like. And I believe this one took place in 1939. But what I'm really interested in are the older World's Fairs. Because if you look down here, the World's Fair actually began in 1851. The first one was actually, I believe it was in London, it was in England. And, well, you'll see. Let's first of all head over to the Crystal Palace in London. So this is a rendering of
This is crazy. Do you have a good picture of this, Kev?
Oh, it's perfect.
This is wild. A whole palace made out of crystal.
Can we turn this a little?
Yeah.
Do we know what crystal?
No, maybe she'll explain.
Palace in 1851. And while we are looking at these photographs, I want you to think about the time period that we are living in, and I want you to look at the architecture. So this is a rendering of what the Crystal Palace looks like, and right here is an actual photo of the Crystal Palace in 1851.
Check that out.
Fuck, it's huge.
Yeah, how could they create something like that back in 1851? Seriously, like, have we gotten dumber?
How'd they get the photo?
Right. I mean, exactly.
You said 1851.
1851.
And I don't know about you, but when I think of the 19th century, I don't think of stuff like this. Look at how landscaped it is. Look at this beautiful building. And, you know, it really is like that with...
You know what that looks like, bro? It looks like
fairs. Let's look at some World Fair buildings.
It looks like where JFK got shot, right?
Oh my goodness.
Looks like Dallas. It kind of looks like that area.
Yeah, it was a ritual.
Here. They're amazing. This was in 1893. Now, again, look at the architecture. Look at the intricacy. And here's the thing. The storyline of the World's Fair buildings is that they were created the landscaping and the buildings were created for the World's Fair, and most of it was actually destroyed after the World's Fair is over. So imagining not.
That's what I was gonna say. Did you guys already talk about them just tearing all this shit down?
Only briefly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the craziest part of my
That's the that's the sketchiest part to me.
Wait, Kev. Should we both get on the same screen? What's going on? Do you see?
He's just watching the video. I guess try to turn your video more towards you. But like the AI is picking up on him moving and talking.
I feel you. All right.
Having all the resources in the 19th century, but the technology to build things like this. How did they do this in the 19th century when, in fact, a lot of people were first getting settled? When I think, again, of 19th century, this is not what I'm thinking. So how are they doing it? How did they build these things? Now, something else that they will tell you is that the reason that this is the Chicago World's Fair, I believe, I'm not sure, but Chicago World's Fair is actually what I'm going to be focusing on a lot today. But again, look at the columns, the details. How are they doing this? How is a civilization that is transported by horse and buggy and, as far as I know, does not have power tools or cranes? How did they do this? And how is it that it was such an easy feat for them that they were able to do this in such a short amount of time? It doesn't add up. And I know that a lot of people are speculating that many of these World's Fair buildings were actually there when the people first settled. They were left there by another civilization that had already been living in America. And, you know, it's interesting to think about. Am I saying that that's 100% true? No. But
All right, what's your take on that, Kev? You think it's possible?
Could it be a situation of aliens helping us to set up the World Fair?
That's super snap.
That's super snap. But I think aliens have been helping us for a long time.
But it wouldn't be super snap, bro, because if you look at the type of shit they were showing at the World's Fair, you know what I mean? They said they had Tesla fucking in there making people cry, dog. Like, with the shit he was showing them, bro. Like doing like out of this world shit. Like it's
And Tesla claimed he got his inventions from visions.
Because, I mean, the World's Fair is like where he would do his thing, right? That's where he got famous.
I believe so. I'm like, damn. But I'm like...
What was the one at the Astrodome? That was a big deal, wasn't it? In Houston?
One at the Astrodome?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Not sure. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, let me see if I... Yeah, can't really find it. Okay, go ahead.
All right, is the picture better?
Perfect.
Saying that, yeah, sometimes you really need to wonder about the history that we're taught, because we know that a lot of it is made up. And unfortunately, a lot of the information that we get from the world about the World's Fair comes from the Smithsonian. And I think that we've learned that the Smithsonian really, unfortunately, can't be trusted.
Right.
So, and there's just some more photos.
Jeez.
That's insane.
This is what your dishwasher...
Like, you don't see anything
This is what your dishwasher looks like, dog.
Talking shit.
They're like, he's on the trail.
That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. Did this video just turn into a giant ad?
Yo, is it an ad for GoPro or a dishwasher?
I think it's a different video.
I'm like, what just happened?
So let's take a look at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
This one's crazy.
Bro, stop it.
Chicago
Aliens
Fair.
had to drop that off.
I'm going to remind you, this landscaping and these buildings were all built for the World's Fair.
Wow.
Now, they claim that it took them 3 years to get all of this set up. The World's Fair itself lasted 6 months. But they claim that it took them 3 years to set this all up, and most of it was actually taken down afterwards. They claim that the reason that it was so easy was because the buildings were just made of plaster and chicken wire. But to me, that doesn't really, again, something else that doesn't add up, because if you look inside, this is also from the Chicago World's Fair. You can look inside these buildings. Now, according to articles, it says that 27 million people visited the Chicago World's Fair in 1893. And these buildings...
I think she said 27
maybe there's one.
million? Am I tripping?
No, if it's the World's Fair over 6 months.
True, but I'm like... Travel.
Right? And that's a lot of people for back then, bro.
The buildings were just made of plaster and chicken wire. But to me, that doesn't really, again, something else that doesn't add up, because if you look inside, this is also from the Chicago World's Fair. You can look inside these buildings. Now, according to articles, it says that 27 million people visited the Chicago World's Fair in 1893. And these buildings... you can't see inside, I don't think. Maybe there's one down here. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, so people could travel through the buildings there. These weren't just buildings that were there that you just look at the outside and say, oh, they're so pretty, and then you just move on. No, you could actually walk. They were actual buildings. And, in fact, what they do say is that a lot of these buildings were taken down, and they were just kind of... I don't remember if it was auctioned off or if kind of like scavengers like bought the pieces of the buildings they claim. But why would you do that? Why would you spend so much time building these structures only to take them down? And again, we're going to go back to, people are going to say, well, but they said that they weren't real buildings. Well, they were real buildings, because you can't go inside of a building that is not real. 27 million people in the 19th century who ride horses.
I told you she was going to snap.
Oh my goodness. She is worked up.
I just thought she was about to get like super scientific. She was like, because
people walked in there.
And buggies
no, but
are able to go.
But seriously, like, how fake could it be if it's just like 27 million people? Like, there's different floors.
Right.
Like, wouldn't shit be like collapsing in on shit if it was like structurally just fake as fuck?
It makes no sense to me.
Like, fake in what way? But like sturdy enough to support different floors and people and statues and structures.
Right.
But fake as in how?
Yeah, I mean,
if it can do all that. And I mean, she said it funny, but like literally, if you can go in it, and you can have people in it, and you can be on different floors and stuff, and that shit's not collapsing all over the spot, and 27 million people hit it in 6 months.
Right. No, I feel you.
Well, they actually do make tiny homes out of chicken wire.
I feel you.
So you absolutely could build a temporary structure, but definitely not multi-story.
Right. I don't know. They look like this looks beautiful, ornate, and like stone almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, right?
Yeah, it looks.
These beautiful buildings that a lot of them were just seen to be disposable. But the thing is that a lot of them were not disposable. Right here is a picture of one of the buildings from one of the World Fairs. It was from the Panama Pacific. Oops. It was from the Panama Pacific International Exposition. And it was actually sold. And they actually floated it down the river to take it to where it was going to go. So why would somebody buy something if it was not a real building? You know, they make buildings all the time. You can actually see an example.
I need a little more than that.
Yeah, I feel you.
What you mean? You just
floated
it
it down the river
and sent that shit downstream, dog. What you mean?
Yo, I can't even laugh.
Like, where do you dock that bitch?
That makes me think it was chicken wire. You know what I mean?
Right?
I'm like, that's crazy. And what is that? A barge? Like, what the hell is that?
Of this in one of the John Levi videos that I just watched. I'll leave a link to his channel because it really is amazing. He has so much information on these World's Fairs. But it just really goes back to the fact that we need to start questioning the things that we are told. Is it possible? Is there even the slightest possibility?
But yeah, if it's chicken wire and it's super easy to make, why not just rebuild it? You know what I mean? Like, how much is that really going to cost? Why, like, move the whole fucking thing? I mean, maybe, like, historical shit, maybe. But...
Yeah, I feel you. It just seems out of place for this time. You know, way out of place.
So here's the 8 surviving structures from the World Fair that are now made of stone. Supposedly, they tore down the chicken wire building, rebuilt these 8 structures in stone in 1915. Supposedly. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but the Palace of Fine Arts, which was the picture that you showed 2 pictures ago.
Okay.
The World's Congress Building, which is now called the Art Institute of Chicago. The Chloe and Sons Sanitary Water Closet, which was
they're doing some fucked up shit there.
A really fancy washroom that they actually charged admission.
Wow.
Really odd looking building. The main state building, which is pretty. Matter of fact, I can share this to you.
So yeah, can you pull them up?
Yeah, but that's the a lot of the speculation is why in the world would you tear down the chicken wire building and build an exact replica in the same exact spot in stone?
Right.
Pretty retarded.
It's a smoking gun.
But also, in the meantime, look this up. The Devil in the White City.
The Devil in the White City.
Ooh, dang.
It has something to do with the World Fair in Chicago.
There it is.
The Devil in the White City. The Devil in the White City tells the story of the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago from the viewpoint of the designers.
Ooh, sold.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
the designers felt they needed to write a book, and then they were like, what should we call it?
The Devil in the White City.
What?
Wait. The Devil in the White City.
That's a wild name, bro.
I think it gets crazier than that.
That's a wild name.
Whoa.
Damn, this shit goes hard. That cover's dope.
The Devil in the White City. Murder, magic, and madness.
Oh, shit.
At the fair that changed America.
Wow.
The True Tale of the 1893 World's Fair.
Oh my goodness. Buy now.
A serial killer who used magic. What?
Oh, I'm not signed in. Okay.
Docs.
Oh, this is going way harder than I thought.
Yeah,
I'm buying this book.
This shit goes deep.
No, I'm gonna
about
give
to
you
get
a
this
book
shit on
report.
Audible, bro. How do I look this shit up on Audible?
Yeah, we might have to do a book report on this one. This is crazy. Jesus.
Your boy got tokens.
I want the hardcover. Okay, so who wrote this? Eric Larson.
Mm-hmm. Damn, bro. I don't know if my phone's listening to me. I typed in devil, and that was the first shit that popped up.
Of course.
Hey, buy with one credit. Confirm.
Jesus.
Already bought it.
Got him.
You got it?
Shout out Eric Lawson.
Shout out to the bull. Yo, if we're talking about book reports, can we all listen to 2 books? Can I suggest 2 books we need to listen to?
Which one?
Absolutely.
I'm saying we definitely need to all do The Alchemist, because I haven't read that, and I was like, bro, I'm about to buy that shit on Audible, because that's supposed to be a super snap.
I got it. I can give it to you.
Is that about a DJ?
No, I have no fucking idea.
It's a good book, though. We definitely can talk about it. It's a short one. You can listen to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's right. It is short. But I know Will Smith got the rights to it.
He does?
Yeah, he has like the movie making rights to The Alchemist, and they're saying like, yeah, he's like holding on to this. He's not letting anybody else fuck with it. But
wait, time out real quick. Do we still fuck with Will Smith?
I do. I mean, bro, it's like
I don't not fuck.
All right, but if he divorced Jada, would it be the hype? That'd be the hype.
Yeah, we'd be hype.
If Will Smith divorces Jada, oh yeah, that'll be the breakup that's cheered around the world.
It'd be like Johnny Depp Part 2.
Yeah. Like Brady, everybody's upset that Brady and Giselle are getting like divorced. Like, oh, they're breaking up the family. If they broke up that family, people would be like, finally, finally.
No, Johnny Depp was hype though.
Oh, I was hyped. Oh my goodness. I wish we were doing this during the Amber Heard trial.
Yo,
oh my god,
it would be so viral.
I watched every second of that, Tom. Oh my god. I was getting updates on my phone, notifications. Oh yeah.
You probably already.
Matter of fact, Lindsay was about to go into labor, and I jumped up and down. I was screaming, "He won! He won!"
It was a beautiful scene. It was a beautiful scene.
Kevin.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the book Behold a Pale Horse? I'm sure you've probably heard of it.
Behold a Pale Horse?
Oh, yes. No, okay.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Yeah, dog, super snap.
Oh, he's laughing now.
Right.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Oh, my God. Look at this.
By William Cooper.
This is a
William Cooper, dog.
This is like a lot of people were like, yeah, dude, I mean, like, I wasn't really a conspiracy theorist. And then I read I think Joe Rogan, I think he said this was the book that made him start looking at shit differently.
Really?
Sam Tripoli. You know what I mean? It's just like, whenever I listen to like a lot of old heads and then be like, yeah, what got you? He's like, man, bro, I read this book by Bill Cooper.
Right.
Behold a Pale Horse.
Right. So Bill Cooper, former United States Naval Intelligence Briefing Team member, reveals information that remains hidden from the public eye. This information has been kept in top secret government files since the 1940s. His audiences hear the truth unfold as he writes about the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the war on drugs, the secret government, and UFOs.
Wow.
Snap. This is definitely a good listen or read. But everything is easier now on Audible.
Yeah, that cover's dope.
Wait, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I thinking of? Bill Cooper? Who was the UFO dude that was like in Congress snapping hella hard, dog?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the dude in Congress that said he was like, we could solve global warming if we could just stop the moon from orbiting or something?
Oh shit! Chill with that shit, bro.
Stop the moon from orbiting.
Yeah,
Doctor Evil.
Yeah.
He was like, NASA has got a massive budget. Why don't we just stop the moon?
Not this guy, dude.
Not this guy?
Old. He's dead now.
Oh dang. Well, I got no idea who you're talking about.
He's one of the OGs. I'll get back to y'all on that.
I feel you.
Don't get caught up now, because I could be way off with his name.
The global economy is collapsing right now, by the way.
Oh, I'll fix it. What was it called?
What are you talking about, baby?
Tic Tac UFO?
Yeah, dog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. We gotta.
The U.S. intelligence community on Friday released.
Eventually, we gotta go back to that chick from Newport, that teacher lady.
Who's that?
That was snapping on that video, the World Fair video.
Oh,
yeah. Fuck yeah.
She sounds like somebody who smoked cigarettes her whole life, but has no lung damage.
Did it get closed up?
What'd you say?
He said it closed up.
Oh, did it close up? Good. Go to your history. Or you're not even signed
Yeah, tripping.
Have you listened to or read Goggins' book, Johnny?
No, I haven't. Josh has.
It's fine. Oh, you have, Josh? Did you
yes.
Did you listen to Jesse Itzler's book?
No, who's that?
He's the owner of the Atlanta Hawks. That
Mm-mm.
he asked Goggins to live with him for 30 days.
Oh, right. No, I haven't.
It's amazing.
Was that crazy?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Bro, he tried to sell. He tried to get Kevin Garnett to like sponsor him with his beverage company or something. And David Goggins was shadowing him everywhere he went. And he said when he went into the meeting, Kevin Garnett didn't care about him at all. He just wanted to talk to Goggins.
That's funny. Oh, yeah.
And they were like, he'd be like, no matter where I went, these business meetings, they just want to talk to Goggins the whole time. And I never got to present anything. And he's like, well, I didn't get to present to you guys my thing. And they're like, you sold it. We're with you. We're signing the contract. Whatever you guys are doing, we're doing.
Yeah. David Goggins doing push-ups in the corner and shit. I'm like, yo. Yeah, this is crazy architecture. Oh my god. Yeah, like that is huge.
Of a building that is not they're told. So Chicago was founded in 1830, but there was the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. So it says here, after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which destroyed several square miles, and I should mention that the World's Fair in Chicago, I believe, took up 690 acres. But anyway, so this Chicago Fire of 1871 destroyed several cannot talk square miles.
She is so hyped.
100,000 people homeless. The city made a concerted effort to rebuild. The construction boom accelerated population growth throughout the following decades, and by 1900, less than 30 years after the Great Fire, Chicago was the 5th largest city in the world. Well, okay, that's great, but here's my question. So the Chicago fire was in 1871. They had all of this rebuilding to do. They had 100,000 homeless people. Why would they take out 3 years of that time to build something that wasn't even permanent and was only going to be used for a 6-month fair? It doesn't make sense.
That does sound a little suspect.
Another point that I wanted to make is that although they claim that these buildings were made of plaster and chicken wire, but we saw by the floating building that that is probably not the case, at least for a lot of them. Possibly some of them were like that, but a lot of them were not like that. There are actually some relics left over from a lot of the World's Fairs. So if they are still using a lot of these buildings, how can they then turn around and say that they were not real buildings? So right here, this is from the Chicago World's Fair, the Palace of Fine Arts in 1893. And if you look down here, it is still being used today.
Wow.
So much for it not being a real city. I'm sorry, not city, building.
Wow, still being used today, still stone.
So a lot of the narrative that we're being told doesn't make any sense. And I know that I keep saying that, but it's because it really has me thinking. Could, and I'm going to say it again, could it be possible that a lot of these buildings here were already here when a lot of the settlers came, and that there really had been another group of people here? I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they went. But it just doesn't seem like it would be feasible for a 19th century civilization to be able, who was actually first settling a lot of these areas, to be able to create buildings like this. So what some people believe is that since they did get rid of a lot of these buildings, that they were kind of going to do these World's Fairs as like a big send-off. And then they were going to get rid of the buildings once and for all, like kind of knock them down. And I don't know. I don't know if that's what really happened. But what I am going to tell you is that I do not believe for a second that these buildings, this one's not loading. I do not believe for a second that these buildings were just built to be disposable and were only built for a fair. Now, one more interesting thing is that in one of the John Levi videos that I was watching, he actually showed a city in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan. This really, to me, looks like what the World's Fair would have looked like. Now, I'm not saying...
Beautiful. And the star on the fountain, it looks exactly like something that she was showing earlier. That's
this is old, like
the architecture from the mud flood.
Fair buildings, because I believe that this was first built in
Tatari shit.
Yeah.
I believe that this was built in the early 2000s. So, you know, I'm not saying, oh, these are old World's Fair buildings and they're hiding them from us. No, nothing like that. But I think that it gives us a good idea of what they look like, because if you look here and then you look here, I think that it's strikingly similar. And in fact, what I find even more striking is my mouse is like going crazy on me. This is Ashgabat, Turkmenistan at night. Let's go back to this photo of what Chicago 1893 World's Fair looked like at night. And really, spend some time going through these photos, because me scrolling through them like this does not give it justice. It's just, unfortunately, I only have 15 minutes, so I can't spend like an hour doing this. But okay, here we go. This is Chicago 1893.
She's gonna be late for something, and she's worried about Tataria. That's great.
Sorry, that's not the one.
Her pronunciation is killing it. She's been studying this for years.
Right.
So anyway, just some food for thought.
You know how many dudes have left her because she won't shut the fuck up about this shit?
Hopefully, because there are a lot of really interesting and puzzling things about these World Fairs beyond just the architecture and who built the buildings, and were they really there before the people actually came? Did people actually come in and take over these buildings, and it was actually a new population of people? I don't know, but I will tell you that the Coney Island World's Fair actually had incubator babies on display.
Right.
Go and
Here
see
we go.
babies in incubators
It's crazy.
at the Coney Island's World's Fair. My question is, what is all that about? That's just one of many things that I'd like to talk about in a future video about the World's Fair.
Oh, she's teasing us. She's teasing us. She said on the next time Dragon Ball Z.
But
Jesus.
again, really look into this because it's crazy to think about what could possibly be real. Anyway, that's
What
all
could
that I have for
possibly
you
be
today.
real?
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
I love this
If you
bitch.
haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what
We
I
need
have
to shout
say,
her
I would
out.
love if you would do that.
Pull up
Yeah.
her
If you have any
channel
questions or
and
comments, you can leave one over
look
on
at her
Instagram
most
because
popular
YouTube
video.
disables my comments.
YouTube disables my comments. Oh god, it's gonna be us.
There's no place like home.
Click videos and then you can sort by popularity.
Oh snap!
See right next to home.
She's got a question. She's got a video called "Question the Narrative Outside the Dome." Oh snap! Oh, how do you find out what's her biggest?
Click video next to home, and then sort by popular. Where it says recently, or yeah, popular. See the yeah.
Question the narrative: the 1890 Enigma and the Lost Generation. Oh snap!
Yeah, we should probably feature.
Oh,
we should feature her once an episode.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she goes hard.
She goes extra hard. She got the voice too.